Well, hello. Thanks for joining me again today. What I want to talk about today is luggage and what luggage you carry on the bike when you're traveling. But I want to put it in the context of some social attitudes that I've noticed. It saddens me greatly that we seem to live in a world that is increasingly becoming polarized with extremes. Everything seems to be black and white, right or wrong. And we see this in all areas of society. As I am recording this, the US presidential elections are in progress, and what we're seeing there all the time is this increasing polarization between the Democrats and the Republicans, and there's just this, hate being thrown between the two, and there seems to be no kind of middle ground between the two. And also at the moment we're having terrible problems in the UK with riots in the streets, with different groups rioting and being branded as extreme right-wing or Islamic extremists that are causing this. And again, there seems to be no sort of sensible middle ground in that. And these are just prominent manifestations that we're seeing at the moment of an underlying attitude which seems to now pervade all aspects of life. Now, what's that got to do with motorcycle luggage? Well, because I see this kind of extreme polarized view seems to now just be accepted unquestionably by people in all areas of life, we also see this in terms of motorcycle travel and what I want to talk about today, which is motorcycle luggage. There is a fashion at the moment for lightweight adventure travel on motorcycles, and I've seen on many Facebooks that whenever anyone proudly posts a photograph of their motorcycle all packed up ready for their very first motorcycle camping trip, and they're very excited about it, of course, posting the picture, they're then immediately mocked for taking too much stuff with them, with derogatory comments about taking the kitchen sink and things like that. But the reality is that when you're new to motorcycle camping, you really are not sure what to take, and it's only human nature to overpack with things that you think you might, you take just in case you might need them. And that's all the more so these days when we seem to live very comfortable lives at home with so much stuff around us. So of course we're going to want to take as much of that stuff with us for comfort when we go on a trip, But as I say, particularly if you're new to it and you just don't know what you need. So yes, people who are new to motorcycle camping do generally seem to take too much stuff with them. But then you learn from experience. Experience teaches you that a lighter packed bike is easier to handle than an overloaded bike. Experience teaches you that it takes ages to pack and unpack your bike every day if you're carrying too much, and it just becomes a hassle. And experience teaches you that you didn't actually need much of the stuff that you took with you. And so you refine it over time. And in fact, I have a method for refining what I take. And even though I've been motorcycle camping for something like 45 years now, I still apply this after every trip. And I honestly can't remember. I didn't come up with this. I got it from somewhere else, and I can't remember where. I've been using it for so long. But what I do is when I get back from a motorcycle trip, I make 3 piles of stuff. So the first pile is all the things that I used, and I'll definitely take them again. The second pile is the things that I didn't use, but I really should take them again. So things like, hopefully, you didn't use your tools, your spares, your first aid kit, things like that, which is sensible to carry even if you didn't use them. And then the third pile is the stuff that I didn't use, and I look at it and I think, I won't bother taking that next time. I didn't need it. And that way, you thin down what you're taking. But also, I think when I'm off travelling, what might I take next time that I didn't bring this time? So, I'm constantly refining what I take with me. And for me, the overriding principle is I look at each item that I take and I think, in what way does this enhance my camping experience? my motorcycle travel experience. And if it enhances the experience, I think, yeah, I want to take it. If it doesn't enhance that experience, then I think, well, do I really want to take it? It is better to travel lighter, but there is a happy medium. There is a middle ground. We don't have to, subscribe to this, world of extremes. There is a middle ground, and I call it comfortable minimalism. So that involves travelling as light as possible, but then not being scared to take those little luxuries with you that you think might make the trip more enjoyable. So I'll give you an example. I've been on the road now for several weeks camping, and I see quite a lot of other people. I've been to a couple of events, and I see a lot of people carry a little camping table with them on the motorbike, and they like that because then what they do is they got the little camping chair, they set up the little table next to it, and they put the cooking stove on it, and then they're cooking on the little table rather than cooking on the ground. Now, from my perspective, that's not necessary. I'm quite happy to cook on the ground, so I wouldn't take a little table. But I fully understand for some people that, having that little table that they can put next to the chair to put the stove on, and then maybe when they're relaxing, just put, the mug of tea or a tin of beer on there or something, it makes for a much happier camping experience. So that's an example of what I mean by comfortable minimalism. For those people, that's a good bit of kit to take if it enhances their experience. I was recently at the Lightweight Adventure Festival in Derbyshire in the UK, and this is a festival which is dedicated to lightweight adventure motorcycling, as the name implies. And I've never been to anything like that before, and I thought it was an excellent event. I really enjoyed it. But I was particularly delighted to see that the various presenters who were talking, all of whom were very experienced lightweight travellers, they were very happy to parody and mock these extreme polarised stances that I'm talking about here. I mean, throughout the festival there was much hilarious banter about what were being referred to, very light-heartedly as big bike wankers, and then on the other extreme, light is shite. And they that was a hilarious representation of these extreme views that I'm referring to here. And walking around the campsite at this event, I was really interested to know that just about everybody seemed to, in practice, subscribe to exactly the same view of me. They had the same attitude as me, which is, what I'm calling this comfortable minimalist approach. People weren't taking excessive stuff, but they were taking those little luxuries, and it varied different people what they were, what they wanted to take. So, what's the message from this? Yes, travel light, but not unnecessarily so.